Got the pen and the paper in your hand. Got the story going that you wanted to expand. We'll help you on your journey. Let us lend you a hand. Join the show. So let's write the book TV show. Grab your pen and paper and we're gonna let it flow. Talking about write the book TV. Join the show.
Welcome to another episode of Write the Book TV, where we come together to interview authors and experts about all things writing and publishing. So if you're someone who's thinking about writing a book or you know someone who should, then this is the place to be. Write the Book TV. Welcome. In today's segment, we have an exciting guest, Miss Racquel Peters. She is joining us to talk about her new children's book. This is new for us, a children's book about hair, and it's actually entitled Hair. So welcome to the show, Racquel. How are you?
I'm good, and you?
Good, good. And so you just recently released this book in December.
Yes.
Of hair, and you also illustrated it. And so I found that so fascinating that you did your own work, because a lot of people who want to write children's books don't have anyone to illustrate it and have a hard time finding illustrators. So I was so impressed by that. And so kudos to you for that.
Thank you.
So tell me a little bit about your background, and first about the illustrating. Like, do you have an art background? What made you do that?
So first of all, I'm very creative. I'm a dancer. So I've always had that creative style, creative edge, and I've also liked to draw in the past. So just kind of my creative side of dancing and drawing and just writing in general too. I was like, why not put it into a book, put my words into a book. So
yeah. And so your book is a rhyming book that teaches little girls to love their hair. Why did you want to write this book?
So first of all, I wanted to write the book because just kind of the time period is, especially I started writing it in 2020, so it was kind of the whole Black Lives Movement, that time, and I just thought, hey, why not just speak my voice now, because everybody else is doing it, so why not? Why can't I? So then a big thing of doing a children's book is because children need to learn about it, because I learned about it. Well, how old am I? 24. I learned about it so old. But
old.
Yeah, so old, I know, right?
That's cute.
But I learned again, like when I was already a grown up. So I needed to kind of have that background when I was younger, because I had my troubles when I was younger, because I grew up in Arizona and I wasn't surrounded by my people. So I did not know how to manage my hair. I did not know what to do with it, and everybody was asking me all these questions, and I was like, I don't even know the answer to these questions myself. So I just thought, now that I know about it, I want to teach it to kids.
And so how did you ultimately end up finding out what to do and how to care for your hair?
Again, it's just kind of where I moved. And that's kind of where I moved, because I moved back to LA for college. And of course, I have more people around me that, have the same issues, dealing with the same problems. And I was like, basically, they were teaching me on how to do it. So I was like, okay, thank you. And then I've also just realized to just love your hair no matter what. So that's
it's funny, because I was recently having a conversation with a mom, and she has a young daughter, and the mom recently went back to a perm. So she had tried out natural for over a year, and she said, this is just too much, and she went back to a perm, right? Yeah. And so her daughter, a relaxer, the correct term is a relaxer. And so she had done that. And so she was telling me that her daughter now is saying, Mom, I like my hair better when it's straight. And so now she wants to, mimic what her mom has done. And she's like, what do I do? So I need to give her a copy of your book, just to encourage her daughter, that it's not only straight that is beautiful, but there are so many different hair textures. And so how are you going about trying to get the message out about hair?
How I'm going about it is there's been a lot of events, especially last month with, Black History Month. That was a pretty big thing that I did, and I just went out and did festivals and just passing out flyers, just also passing out the word. That was just the biggest thing. That was one thing I told them. If you don't buy my book, I'm perfectly fine with it. But as long as you're spreading this message, because that's the biggest thing. So,
that's awesome. Yeah. And so what's next?
What's next? Oh, man. So, again, same thing. It's just kind of spreading the word as much as possible. Traveling, too, because I just don't want to be in one community. I want it to be, a worldwide thing. Nationwide first, and then a worldwide thing, too. So...
That's nice. Yeah. I know with my own hair journey, I don't even know how old I was when I got my hair relaxed for the first time. And then it was like a forever thing. Nobody was talking about being natural as much as they are today.
Yeah.
And I remember in around 2013, I think it was, when I wanted to start taking swimming lessons.
Yeah.
And my hairdresser, hairstylist at the time was like, well, I'm not putting a perm back in your hair until you finish with your lessons. Yeah. It's like, well, I don't intend to stop swimming when the lesson stops. So... And then what next?
Yeah.
And so that was the end of relaxers for me, and that was in 2013. And so I haven't turned back, but I do know that it is a journey.
Right? It's funny that you say swimming, because that's what I also did too when I was younger. So I was kind of balancing swimming and dance. So swim, I was like, okay, I need braids. I need something that that will be a protective for especially chlorine too. So I was like, okay, I'm doing braids. But then when it came to dance, is when we do competitions, they need certain hairstyles, and you're like, okay, I can't keep these braids. I have to keep my hair straight. So then it could, be manipulated different types of ways. Easy too. So it was just a whole, complicated journey for sure.
It's a whole situation.
A whole situation.
Okay. So how important do you think it is for young girls to embrace their natural hair at an early age?
I think it's very important because from the beginning, it's kind of the whole question of like, what is your worth? And a lot of worth is based on hair, at least people think it is. And that's why I think it's very important because, as a Black girl, to have that natural hair, to not be, ashamed of it, not to be afraid to show it to people, because that is who you are. Like, you shouldn't be hiding your looks, hiding who you are from people just because they're not okay with it. It's like, if you're okay with it, that's all that really matters.
Such an important lesson. And I think it's hard for especially little Black girls in school with, their white friends and the whole thing about, I want my hair to be straight too. And, or that thing, that association that straight hair is better hair or something like that. So do you see yourself going into schools and trying to talk to different audiences about hair?
Yes, most definitely. Yes, because I also am an educator. I'm a teacher. So I am any
Kudos
type.
to you.
Thank you. Thank you. I was like, any type of way that I could show them, yes, I do try and plan to go and spread the word to. And again, it's not just a certain age group. It's just kids K through 12. So because everybody needs to hear about it.
This issue does not go away.
It does not.
It does not go away. So this is the first book for you. Like I said, you published this book in December. So what would you say has been the most enjoyable thing about being an author?
I would say talking to different people. Like, I am, especially with authors, and I feel like you can agree too, that you're more like enclosed, keep it to yourself, and then let the words, say everything. But it's just also nice because with relationships, like they have a different way of telling that same story. Like connecting in different ways. Like, oh, I've had that same situation happen to me because of this, and this. And I'm like, oh, I'm not alone in a sense. It's like, I'm not alone. There's many people with the same problems, but at the same time, it's not a problem. It's like, again, we need to embrace this.
And so on the flip side of that, what has been your biggest challenge so far being an author?
My biggest challenge is, I'm one who doesn't like rejection. And again, with this book specifically, yes, I know. With this book specifically, it doesn't relate to everybody.
Yeah.
It doesn't. So I want, like, in a sense, I do want it to still spread that word, spread that message across, every single body. But it is just hard to, if they're not that same, dealing with that same problem, it's just like they can't relate to me. And it's just like, that's, it's hard. As an author, you want to relate to everybody. You want to try to, grab everybody's attention, and it's hard in that sense.
That's okay.
But it's okay.
Because it's good to have a niche down specific audience that you're talking to, because then those people know, oh, she's talking to me. And then if it should go out to other people, then it's like, oh, okay, it's reaching a larger audience. And so you wrote it to encourage little Black girls or girls of color to embrace their hair. And so that's okay. But it is helpful if other people learn about it as well. And so I could see you just, in multiple arenas with people that have kids of mixed race, or if you have interracial couples and you have a white mom or white dad that doesn't know anything about a Black child's hair. And we've seen it play out on TV shows, right? And I've heard people say that they're appreciative of stuff like this because it helps them with the journey of hair care that they knew nothing about. And so that's really good. So are you planning to write more books?
Yes, I definitely am.
Okay. Yes. Along the same lines of the hair care journey?
I would say along the same lines of kind of like just growing up, like, the journey growing up. So not specifically with hair.
Not specifically with hair. Okay.
But that was just my first thing that I definitely wanted to talk about, because
I absolutely love it. I love it. And we need more. That's gonna rhyme. I love it. We need more of it.
Hey, hair. That's what it's about.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, we talked about your hair care journey growing up, and we were talking about the swimming thing. What other kinds of hindrances did you find impacted you regarding your hair?
Again, the same thing about. I keep going back to swimming is because, again, with my friends, it's like they just need to blow dry their hair and they're done. So it was just a big thing. And it's like, Mom, I want it this way. So how can I get it this way? And of course, that's when I started to get into perms or relaxers, and I was able to do it.
Right.
But at the same time, I was just thinking about the future, that it's damaging my hair, like my own hair. So I'm like, I need to step away from that. Again, embrace what I have, embrace what I got. And then I just started doing it, started embracing it.
And so what are some of the favorite hairstyles? So you try to maintain your natural hair. What are some of course, braids. Braids are the go-to. Braids are the go-to, but anything else?
I just mainly do braids. And again, I feel comfortable now. I'm appreciative, I'm embracing it, that I do natural hair too. I just wash it, comb it out. If it's an afro, it's an afro. So
nice. Well, I've been toying with the idea of sister locks for a while.
Okay.
Maybe going that route a little bit. I don't know, but like I said, this whole hair care thing is a journey.
Yes.
And so I'm with it just like you. I hardly ever get to wear it out. And so now I'm to that point in my life where I'm like, well, my hair is natural. I have a head full of hair.
Yeah, exactly.
And why can't I just wear, my hair out? But I still need to look presentable, and and what's presentable? It's all relative, right?
Yeah.
Just that's your point. As I said that, I was like, but mindful of what I wear in different spaces, and I think that might be a way to go. But I'm definitely a braid girl.
Yeah.
And sometimes we pop out the wig too. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. I need to start doing wigs.
I do the Instagram. You gotta have the Zoom wigs, and at a moment's notice, has something to do. Yeah. And so I just love your book. We don't really publish a lot of children's books, but the fact that you illustrated your own. And it was good. The illustrations are beautiful. And so I really encourage our viewing audience, go buy the book Hair by Racquel Peters. And she's going to tell you more about that in a second. But I just really like the story. It's simple. It hits home to where any young girl can, read it and relate to it and learn from it. And so what is the one takeaway that you would want? Like, is it about self-esteem? Is it about self-love? What is the one takeaway that you would want a young reader to get from reading your book?
I would say both. I was like, a big thing is just, self-love, self-care. Again, that's why I did it as a children's book, because we need to start young.
Yeah.
That we need to appreciate ourselves. We need to start caring about ourselves rather than what other people think. So my biggest message is just be you. Just be you. That's it.
I love that.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for coming to join us on Write the Book TV to share such an important and impactful message. I know the book is going to be great. I'm going to be giving it to little girls. You have your daughter needs to read this book because I do think that message is certainly important. And over the years, it has just been a thing. There are all kinds of movements going on now about letting people wear their hair natural and not being penalized for it in any way. Yeah. Bills are being passed and all of that. So I think you're right on time with the message for this book. And so thank you so much for coming to join us and sharing about it. Make sure you tell people where they can purchase the book and how they can stay in contact with you.
Okay, yes. So if you would love to buy my book, Hair, I would say first go to Amazon, and you could also catch me on Instagram with Hair by Racquel Peters and on Twitter, Hair by Racquel P. Thank you.
Nice. That's awesome. Thank you so much to our viewing audience for joining us for another segment of Write the Book TV. Remember, if you're someone who wants to write a book or you know someone else who wants to write a book, have them join us right here at Write the Book TV. Tell them about it. And if you have a question for us that you would like answered on air, remember to visit the website at www.writethebooktv.com and send us your question, and maybe we'll answer it on an episode in the future. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care. Bye.